Isaiah 33 and verse 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord Yahweh is his treasure. Call la Yahweh Bashmiel Shai. Yahweh Bashmiel Shai. Waha. Rachach Wadash. Double honors to the hopefully like elder apostle slave to be saved. Alright. Barakatah Yahweh Bashmiel Shai. The water Yahweh Bashmiel Shai. And as I said, double honors to the hopefully like elder apostle slave to be saved. Lord willing, stone with those at the Great Millstone Church on down to, the rest that's out here under this doctrine, to the brothers teaching this truth, from the in true faith and sincerity, from the elder brothers on down to the younger brothers, man. The brothers, of our camp, my congregation, our camp over here. All right, Shalom. Okay, ultimately, and to the rest of you believers, you men, women, and children of the Israelite race, all right, that are also in on the faith of Yahweh Bashmiel Shah Shalom. All right, ultimately to the elected 1/3, the house of David, those that were going to be found to have been under the house of David. So, yeah, that's exactly what we on the road to, and on this road, pretty much, it's a lot of obstacles, man. It's a lot of trying times, because pretty much this road is for a set duration, man. Okay, the Lord, He never told us how long it was gonna be. Like, I think they got a song like that in the world. Nobody ever told me it was gonna be easy, but I know, I don't believe He brought me this far to leave me. So this a long walk, like even in the spirit. It's never been said exactly how long we're gonna be on this walk. So that's why I say by the spirit on this road, it's gonna be times where, it's trying times, man. It don't look like you're gonna be able to get out of certain moves, situations, and whatnot. And ultimately, I'll have you know that if that's not happening, one, you're not even on the path. You see, because it's a path that tries you, it tests you. It puts you to the test to actually see if you can walk, down this road with all these trying things. That goes into the the straights. It's a path so small that only one man can go down it at one time. So it's it's hard walking down that path. Like, this path proves you, along you trying to, while you're trying to walk it, it proves us to see if you can actually walk it, man. And some is, what's known as, some is falling off of it, from the men, the women that, have their shot at, going on being the elect lady and stuff like that. People just completely falling off of it. It's like the balancer beam, and that's what's happening. They're completely falling off of it, man, due to it being such a trying thing to walk, a trying path to walk. And that's, hence the whole falling out thing, If you falling out, it's you falling off that beam, man. The path is too hard. And you read Isaiah the 33rd chapter all the time about how wisdom and knowledge is going to be the stability of your times. Yeah, you know how, know when, which is ultimately the byproduct of, which is, pretty much the perfection, if you will, of wisdom. And but nonetheless, you don't know this path is set up. It's set up to teach you how to get wisdom. Because pretty much in this lesson I'm going to be going into how it's many of us that know the scriptures, but you don't necessarily know, wisdom. Some along those lines. You don't know how to apply wisdom. Like ultimately having this truth, having understanding, if you will, the breakdowns, if you will, is, wisdom. But ultimately, that ain't it, man. You know, wisdom is said to be a thing of, um, it's the work of all things. So it's many components to wisdom. So do you have all of wisdom? Wisdom is, you know, laid out in the scriptures to be something to come out unto perfection. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and get the scripture to prove that. Okay, I got a couple scriptures lined up. We're gonna go to Sirach, the 34th chapter, but I want to prove this real quick. You just don't get wisdom, and that's just that. No, it's a completion. Do you have all the pieces to wisdom? For instance, Wisdom of Solomon 16, Slakia 6, and we're gonna start at 15. It says, "To think thereupon her is perfection of wisdom." See that? "And whoso watcheth for her shall quickly be without care." So there it is. So it's a continuous thing you gotta perfect. You could just have parts of wisdom and you don't even realize. You think you got wisdom. No. You gonna know when you got what you gonna know that's not true when you know scriptures, but you don't know how to move. You didn't know how to stop the situation from happening. You don't necessarily know how to get out the situation. So there goes so much for, knowing the breakdowns and all that being, wisdom. You completely having wisdom. No, you don't completely have wisdom, man. You see? So once again, to think thereupon her is perfection of wisdom. See that? It says, "And whoso watches for her shall quickly be without care." Now, how do you, pretty much get to that perfection? This is Sirach 21 and 11. "He that keepeth," matter of fact, let's go here real quick, see if I'm going to jump up. This is Sirach 21, and yeah, this is heavy. I'm going to start at 10. It says, the way of sinners is made plain with stones. It says, but at the end thereof is the pit of hell. So it's two ways, it's two paths. You see, in this path we particularly walking, ain't that many people walking. You see what I'm saying? You barely run into people besides if you in a congregation, that know the truth. So as you completely, on this on your own, man. If you got you in your household in on the faith, you got moments where Satan individually try, the believers in that household, from the husband to the wife, really, depending on how old your children, your kids are, your sons, your daughters, whatever, okay? And that's what makes the scriptures continuously ring true in our ears. You could read about that in 2nd Ezra, the 7th chapter, how there's, the path so small that only one man can go down at one, that's how it is. You ultimately by yourself, but nonetheless, that's the road we're on, But this road leads to basically learning how to, move. Because you got all these situations that come up that's upon the road, the journey of being on this road that basically it's like when you thrown in the middle of water, you either swim or drown. You either learn how to swim or you drown. That's how this path is, man. So it teaches you. It actually teaches you wisdom. So this is how you develop that ultimately, you see. And ultimately, it's building you up to keep going, because the more obstacles that appear on the path, and you get over it, that just gives you more confidence to get over the next one. You see what I'm saying? And you ultimately gonna keep going, because why? You were set on this path, upon the invite of, the kingdom, which is something way better than, you sold everything. Like that pearl, that man that found that pearl and that treasure in that, that open field. He sold everything to buy that field, man. You bought in. You completely seen, accepted and realized, through the ministry, through the teachers, that you were being sold short through the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, that you were being sold short. And upon that, you got an invitation, and here, come to something better. This is actually for you. This isn't your world. They don't love you. This isn't it. This isn't life. Don't invest in that. Invest in this. So that whole, it's a kingdom for the Israelites. You're an Israelite. Well, are you an Israelite? Do you find yourself on this chart? Oh, okay, well, here, we invite you to the kingdom. That was the call. The call is the invite, and upon you accepting, you proceed to that walk. And that's the time, that's what we find ourselves in right now too, which is pretty much the whole notion of arising and departing. Like, we're in the middle of, a war zone, World War III about to pop off, America, they done stuck their nose in, Russia's business, which is helping manifest the scriptures, man. You see, we're completely waging war against the so-called white man. You ain't with these jabs. You're not with none of this shit, man. All right. You ain't saying you're black no more. You're not going to the parties. You're not buying. You're not buying into this. You're buying in. It's bull. You're buying into the truth. So upon doing all that, you're on the walk, man. You're buying. You bought that field to reap the benefits. You see, which is what? The kingdom. You went into, okay? So that's what's at the end of this road. So I'll continue. Sirach 21:10. The way of sinners is made plain with stones, but all the end thereof is the pit of hell. Thereof is the pit of hell. This is how you perfect wisdom. Going back to the point. He that keepeth the law of the Lord getteth the understanding thereof. And the perfection of the fear of the Lord is wisdom. You see? So, because to ultimately, that's the perfection right there. That is the perfection. And the perfection of the fear of the Lord is wisdom. Matter of fact, since I say that, let's go here to Sirach 19 and go to verse 20. It says, I'm going to actually start at, I'm going to just jump to the point. It says, what? The fear of the Lord is all wisdom. You see? Is all wisdom. And in all wisdom is the performance of the law and the knowledge of his omnipotency. Right? And, pretty much the law was our schoolmaster. It led us up to the one to show us how to move, how to get out of this situation, which is believing, man, which is faith. And that one being Yahweh Shai. This word, man. You see? Period. That's why he said, if any man let him follow after me. Let him deny himself and follow after me. On what? On the path. So on this path, you're learning. You being in this truth, it's a heavenly path. You've been put on the heavenly path that's going to order your life. All right, basically, it's going to give you how can I say this, man? It's going to send down it's going to send down Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Upon that, it's going to send down the divine path for you to walk, which is going to come to you in the forms of, ways, events, knowledge, incidents that's going to ultimately, teach you how to get to the kingdom of heaven, which is ultimately, is leading you to the kingdom of heaven, man. Because you're going to have situations that come up that show what's off, what isn't, tests, all type of things, man. Hell, man. You know, the fire shows the gold how to be golden, man. It takes away craps. It puts it through, you know, a straight obstacle course, man, for a duration. So it's the same thing. The fire shows you how to be golden, man. You know, this path shows you how to move. You see, actually living the truth. It's beyond the breakdowns, man. You know, the prophecy I was speaking to, you know, brothers by the Spirit. Prophecy, you know, the Spirit, you know, something with the Spirit, basically. Prophecy isn't, knowing a prophecy can't live your life, if you will. You got to know how to live with knowing the prophecy, which is pretty much completing wisdom, man. You see? So upon having wisdom, see that? Upon having wisdom, Sirach 33 and 6, and wisdom and knowledge. See, the actual thing. And wisdom, you either got it or you don't. And wisdom and knowledge. See that? Wisdom and knowledge. See? It says, shall be the stability of thy times, and the strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. You see, that's what you bought into, man. Fearing Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, man. Which ultimately results in, it manifests into, it flips to the kingdom, man, for you, you know. But upon you, right, this path showing you basically how to move, how to get to the kingdom of heaven, is leading you to this kingdom of heaven upon you accepting the fact you're a Hebrew Israelite. You know, the Heavenly Father's name is Yahweh, right? His son's name is Yahweh Shah, accepting the whole doctrine, man. You know that cup, man. You are now, and you going through that process completely, then you'll have this wisdom that's being talked about right here, and knowledge. You see? Then you'll be able to be stable. Because as you walk this walk, you know, you really start to get more stable in the walk, man, in this truth. Upon what? Experiences, which is ultimately how you get the wisdom. So I'm going to go ahead and get this and close out. This is Sirach 34. And I'm going to jump to the point. It says, I'm going to start at 9. A man that have traveled, you see, a man that have traveled knoweth many things, and he that hath much experience will declare wisdom. You see, so the Lord gonna put you through the fire. You gonna catch hell if you ain't got no experience, man. We was talking about this by the Spirit, you know, yesterday on the highways. I mentioned this. If you ain't caught no hell and you really are, you are the Lord's men, the Lord's believers, you know, that elect this remnant, and you ain't been, expect hell to come your way, man. You might as well put a helmet on, get some sandbags, you know, build a little hut, you know, and you know, try to brace for the bombs, man, because they coming, man. You know, brothers dealing with all type of stuff, man. You know, but anyway, it says, he that have no experience knoweth little. See, that's dealing with the knowledge. So you get the knowledge upon, you know, experiencing, ultimately, experiencing the scriptures, experiencing the truth. You know, but ultimately, what's really going to keep you stable is knowing the prophecies, you know, knowing what something is when you see it. It's like when you see, what is it? It's like when you see, you know, the chip. Most people don't know the chip is the damn mark of the beast, man. So they not going to be stable in their time. They mind is not going to be stable, you know, because they didn't accept, man. You know, they was on a whole nother path, man. You know, they was dealing with, you know, they're not going to be sound. They're going to be shaking in their boots, man. But that's why knowledge is going to be a part of you being stable, you know, knowing what things is, but ultimately wisdom and knowledge, man. You know, the perfection of that knowledge, man. You know, which is gonna come by way of what? Experience, man. You know, that fire is gonna show that gold how to be golden, man. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this. And I'm gonna close out. This is I'll continue. This is Sirach 34 and not 9. It says, "A man that hath travailed knoweth many things, and he that hath much experience will declare wisdom. He that hath no experience knoweth little, but he that hath traveled, you see, but he that hath traveled is full of prudence." You're gonna be able to be better in the future, because the future, because prudence is dealing with the future. When you're prudent, you're ultimately prudent upon being wise. So to say you're prudent is to say you're wise. To say you're ultimately wise is to say you're prudent. And prudent ultimately is acting and, you know, showing and acting with care for regards, for the regard of one's future. When you look that word up, okay? You see that? Like kids, they do bad stuff because they're not prudent. They're not thinking 5 minutes, or 2 minutes from this, I can get my ass beat. I can get my, I can get I can get my butt whooped. You know, I know this could lead to this. I know this could lead to that. Let me do this. You know, so the Lord is making us mature. He's doing all these different things, man. And hey, man, it's heavy, man. It's real heavy. So that scripture goes much deeper, you know. It says, "When I traveled, I saw many things, and I understand more than I can express. You see, I was oftentimes in danger of death. You see, yet I was delivered because of these things." You see that? Why? "The spirit of those that fear the Lord shall live." You see, wisdom. "For their hope is in him that saveth them." And you know it comes, you being saved ultimately comes down to you hoping, you know. "Whoso feareth the Lord shall not fear nor be afraid, for he is his hope." So there it is, man. You know, that's what it's dealing with. And if you keep going, it's gonna go into what? Pretty much having the angels, you see. But nonetheless, you was able to what? Live because of that experience. And upon that experience, you actually became prudent. You became what? Wise. You see? So closing out, this is Isaiah. Lord willing, this made sense, man. You know, this is Isaiah 33. You know, because hey, you're going to see it's bigger than the breakdowns, man. If you truly in this, it says Isaiah 33:6, "And wisdom," you see, "and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure." You see, the fear of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is his treasure, man. So yeah, ultimately what? We got to get that wisdom and that knowledge. And that's going to be upon what? Ultimately, not just going into the scriptures, but actually walking this walk, man. And seeing when to apply, what's supposed to be applied. You know, and knowing these prophecies in the end when you see it, which the Lord said that's easy. He said the end is manifest, man. The vision gonna speak at the end. So the ultimately, hey, prophets gonna know how to move, man. All right. So yeah, that's what we looking for. All right. So you be with godly men. Deal with men that has the experience. You know. It's all about soaking that up, man. Soaking up that game. So call on Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Wahaka Dasha Shalom.